All right, Troy. Okay, we also have Gab Banal with us right now. Hello, Gab.
Hi guys, hello to all of your listeners. Good evening to you guys. Thanks for having me.
Anyway, first and foremost, guys, Troy and Gab, how are you guys doing right now? I mean, this is the bubble. How many days have you been in this bubble so far? Uh, Troy, how many days?
I think we are officially on day 11 now, day 11 or 12. So almost 2 weeks. It's felt a little bit longer than that, if I'm being honest, but I'm just, it playing basketball, having these games every day definitely makes it go by a little bit faster.
Okay, 11 days, and of course you're playing basketball. You guys are in your new rooms. Okay, tell me something about because I was supposed to go to the PFL bubble. Um, is there anything that you left at home that you should have packed with you? Gab, do you have
Um,
anything that you? I mean, I wish I brought this right now.
Not really. As long as you have internet, you have all what you need.
Troy, you left anything at home?
oh, I left everything. I was joking around like I did not pack as much as I should have. Like I woke up the morning we were supposed to come and basically just threw stuff in my bag. I was definitely thinking like clothes and video games wise, but I wasn't thinking about like just the stuff you need in the house, the little things like the toiletries and everything like that. But we're making do here. My roommate Josh did a great job of helping out a little bit like that. So I know everyone, even the different teams, are kind of sharing things just to kind of get through.
Okay, so you thought of the video games, of course, we're
Yes,
guys.
yes. Number one priority. That was the number one priority coming in.
So what did you bring? PS4, Nintendo Switch. What did you bring?
Yeah, we have the Xbox One in here. I play some computer games. I'm a little bit nerdy, so I had made sure I had them all loaded up on here, and I had my headphones and everything. So yeah, just being ready with that was a big part of it for sure.
Any specific game that you're playing there?
Um, on the Xbox, most of FIFA. I've been playing some FIFA. Me and Gab actually have been playing some FIFA, so you'll have to ask him about that. I think that's been the main game, at least for me.
Okay, Gab, you brought video games as well.
Yeah. So yeah, like what Troy said, FIFA, and sometimes we play Call of Duty and 2K. And my roommate one. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, Brian, you have some questions for our guys right here.
Actually, I'm kind of jealous with your lifestyle. You're playing all the video games and then you get to play. Well, just play. Anyway, how has life changed? Eh, Were there major changes? I'm sure there was. But what was the biggest adjustment you guys had when you entered the bubble? Or Troy, because we get Troy,
Um,
biggest
the
adjustment.
biggest adjustment for me, I would say food would be the first thing, like not being able to control all your meals, especially I think during the pandemic. I think a lot of us kind of got used to maybe preparing more food for ourselves. So I really got used to that and kind of enjoyed having everything. Like I was eating like a very set thing every day. So that's probably been my biggest adjustment. Like the people here are doing a great job and giving us great food and everything, but nothing really beats a home cooked meal. So I think that's probably the number one thing I'm missing and looking forward to when I get back.
How about you, Gab?
Actually, same thing. The food is always set. You don't really have any choice what you can eat. If, for example, if you crave something or whatever, you can't really get it from outside. Um, Pretty much it. Yeah, that's the food. It's pretty much set.
Okay, Sir Vince, you have some questions for our guys right here.
Well, Troy and Gab, which parts of your games have improved playing 3-on-3?
Um, for me, I would say the first thing, at least I like to think that my one-on-one defense has improved. Being a big man, what I mean, I'm mostly guarding bigs pretty much my whole career. But in 3-on-3, there's nowhere to hide. Like there's so much space,
Yeah.
and really everyone guards everyone. If you're a 5-man and 5-on-5, you may not guard the point guard like literally the entire game. Where I feel like he's not. It's almost a waste of time talking about matchups because you're guarding everyone almost evenly. So just getting better at that probably would be the thing. Like I think I've been challenged on the most, and I like to think I've improved on.
Okay, I have a question for Kara. Okay,
Mm.
Kara, ako nagtanong, Kara, these guys, day 11, and one of the good things about the Kalam bubble, the Chooks 3-on-3 bubble, is that there has been no reports of any positive infections inside the bubble, which means that after the 11, no incidents happening. Anong masasabi mo sa preparation ng Chooks-To-Go in letting this bubble happen?
Well, with regards to the preparations of Chooks-To-Go, they were initially the ones who were really finicky about their own protocols. Like, for example, we give them the minimum, they go high above that, which is, of course, for us as regulators, that's a good thing. But I just don't know. You have to ask Gab and you have to ask Troy
Uh,
how well they're adjusting to it. But I think the most important part of it is that at least we are secure that somehow we're able, because 10 days is actually somehow the threshold for it, especially with the NBA and the others. It's 10 days to 3 weeks, something like that. But for something as short as as the Kalam bubble, which is just around 15 to 17 days, 10 days of no incidences is actually a good sign. And I think this signals a good beginning for the UAAP and the NCAA, because it's actually more cost efficient, I think, to do it in
hmm.
that span of time. Because we can't really, like, let's say if we have students and you kind of put them in a bubble in 2.5 months, I'm not sure what's gonna happen.
Okay. Sige, pero ito can you run through us the process, para for those people na paano ba pumasok dito sa bubble na to? I mean, what are the processes na they have to wait, and to get inside the bubble?
Prior to going to the bubble, they were already doing their health checks. So every time they did their training at UP, they had their app, which was the Get Pass. They did their health checks, their temperature checking. There was a 14-day temperature checking and symptom monitoring for all of the participants of the bubble. So they had to submit that. And prior to entering the bubble, what they did was there was an RT-PCR test that
Okay.
happened. Yes, and after the RT-PCR, they were required to go on quarantine for 5 days. And after the 5 day quarantine, that's the time that they were allowed to, well, if they tested negative, of course, on the initial RT-PCR, and then they're supposed to go on 5 day self quarantine. And then that's the time that they were asked to proceed to Laguna for another round of RT-PCR tests. That's how strict the protocols were. And even I think Gab and Roy can share also with regards to uh, the things that they had to do in order to check in
All
with
right.
oh
Sige.
yeah, with the luggage and everything else, because they were the ones who came in here earlier than me.
Sige. Okay, Gab, ano ba mga nangyari, no? How do you guys get in the bubble? What is the process for you like?
Yeah, so quarantine first at home quarantine. And then I brought my car here. And of course, the Chooks management and the organizers really were strict, as we should, to protect everyone in this pandemic. Kasi bottom line, we want to keep everyone safe. And okay yung process. Of course, UV the things. And then we're not allowed to go back to our cars. Syempre, strict na. And security reasons also. And of course, the spray cleaning, whatever. And then, of course, we always have to wear our masks and our face shields everywhere we go. So talagang, syempre, we're in a pandemic crisis. So we won't take things lightly. And the organizers really did a good job of doing this protocols.
So basically, it's not like when you get in the bubble, you're free to go. I mean, no face mask and everything. They still have to wear them. Tama?
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
And
Mm-mm.
still observe social distancing. Kasi like sinabi nila, diba, it's one of the safest places to be right now is inside the bubble, especially if the protocols are met. That is that is one of the safest place to be in right now. But Troy, what is your experience in going inside the bubble, and how did it how did you feel that after going all through those protocols, how safe are you inside the bubble?
Yeah, I mean, I feel really safe in here. Um, Even before, I mean, Gab talked a lot about it, but like even just the preparation, we've had a contact tracing app we've been using this whole time. And even just going to practice, we use the UV light, we use the spray, we had the regular PCR testing. So I definitely, everything has been first class. And I think in general, people have been really good at sticking to the protocols, even inside the bubble. And it's just a blessing to be able to just focus on basketball. You know what I mean? If you're playing pickup or even doing practice outside, you never really know what people's status is. But in here, like I can be confident that at you can never be, obviously 100% sure. But I know we've taken every step we can to make sure everyone's safe, and like I really appreciate that. It's nice to not really have to worry about that.
Brian, you have a question about the bubble?
Well, actually, I'd like to follow up on the. I'd like to Gab to answer the question of Sir Vince. No, yung it's about.
Ay, oo, hindi kita napasagot kanina, no? Sorry. Anyway, ano yung tanong nga ulit doon? Yung
Is,
kanina, how did the 3-on-3 basketball improve your skills?
okay, Gab. That's for Gab.
Yes, I think conditioning is a skill. So one thing I really improved on is playing. I mean, my conditioning because we play multiple games in a day. And another skill for me, it's a skill is that 3x3 is a very short memory game because after the game you play again like in a few minutes. So definitely what you did the game before doesn't really matter anymore. So you have, unlike in 5-on-5, sometimes your game is in a week or in 2 weeks, but in 3x3 you know it's right after the other game. So it's very short memory, which I can use in 5-on-5, especially that especially in life. Sorry, for me, it's something happens, you move on, and that's one skill that I learned from 3x3.
Okay, Brian, may gusto ko nang itanong
Oh, sige.
personal.
Oh, I have a question for them. I
Sige,
mean,
Kara.
Sige.
given that the games are spaced one day apart, of course, a big part of preparation and also training is the rest and recovery, and you really have to be smart. I really think that we, with the type of training that we have, the bubbles, it's more of the smartest ones are going to be the ones that win, not necessarily the ones that are more skilled. So I'd like to know from Gab and Troy, in terms of rest and recovery, what strategy do you guys use, so at least the other athletes can also learn from that?
Uh,
Um,
okay, go
oh,
ahead, Troy.
sorry, go. No, go ahead, Gab. You got it.
For me, more than the body, it's also the mind. But for the body, we got supplements for us to, help our body to recover. And the mind, some of my teammates do meditation, and we do lots of breathing exercises just to, because it's draining. And sometimes it's deflating also. So, you know, just get out of basketball first, and then just do normal living, playing games, watching series or movies, just to get the mind straight. And then lastly, eating Chooks-To-Go chicken has been really helpful for my recovery.
Protein. So
Okay,
guys, protein.
Troy, you're up next on that question.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. I think like for me, my recovery and everything has always been so organized my whole life. Like I was always a part of a team, a part of a school, and they kind of told me what to do. And with the pandemic, like I feel like I learned a lot because for months I was in charge of my body basically. So I think that was really nice to have that skill coming into here, and obviously like Inspire, NU Laguna. This is one of the nicest facilities I've ever been in. So to have all those on our off days to be able to take advantage of that, that's been great. I've been talking to PT Sancho, PT Ria, shout out to them about everything. Like we were talking about like the nervous system. Even if you're not necessarily like moving a ton of weight, your body will still feel like a shock. Like if you're sweating, it won't recover in a certain way. And then the other thing for me has been maintaining a balance, because if you're on your off day, you literally don't do anything the whole time. You probably won't be in the best condition you can. But on the other hand, even if you're purely doing recovery, but you're doing a ton of stuff for this whole time, you're also not going to be able to recover because your body doesn't get to shut down. So I'm just trying to balance like being proactive in my recovery, but at the same time allowing my body to like fully shut down so I can recover.
Okay. I
I
just
have a
wanna.
follow-up
Okay,
question.
go ahead, Kara. Go.
Okay, so we've discussed about rest and recovery, but in terms of there's a lot of things going around at one time. So there's the threat of COVID, there's the games every day, there's rest and recovery. Do you, if you were going to give yourself a score, with regards to how you're coping, five being the highest, how would you give yourself, or what score would you give yourself?
I think to answer that question, with all these things that's happening, one thing I learned throughout this pandemic is control what you can control. And what you can't control, for me, I surrender it to God. Because if I still stress about the things that I can control, it's just like putting weight vests on myself and trying to carry it. So I think because of that, I started to, just letting go and surrender of the things that I can't control. It removes tons of weight from me. Uh, because of that, I think I'll give myself a score of 3.5.
0.5.
3.5.
Mm-mm.
Why not? Why not 3.75? Just kidding.
3.75 na lang.
Pa sila dito, may room for improvement pa yan. How
Exactly.
about
There's
you,
always
Troy?
room to grow.
Yeah, oo. So how about you, Troy?
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off what Gab said a little bit about controlling what you can control. Like, I'm not going to lie, the first day or two when we were on full lockdown, like full room quarantine, like I give myself a one. I was like, I've had enough already. I need to be out. But for me, like, yeah, control what you control. For me, I say like perspective. I was just telling myself, like, listen, man, you talk about everything that's going on right now. Like, you're complaining that you don't like the taste of the food. Like, that's really your biggest problem right now. I know, like, even just a month ago, I was dying just to be able to play basketball. So I'm not going to lie and say, like, this isn't hard, like, mentally, because it definitely is. But there's so many, like, bigger problems going on in the world right now. And just to be able to be safe and to be able to play basketball, like, I just keep telling myself, and like, not even just telling myself, but realizing like it's a blessing. So while we're in here, just take advantage of it.
Okay. I want to ask you guys. How about how many Chooks-To-Go chickens have you eaten when you got there?
Lost track.
I mean, some of us would love to have all of those.
Nice.
Gab, Troy, who wanna answer that? Troy.
Yeah, I'll go first. As many as they let me get my hands on. Like, I've just, especially because I'm a big guy. I eat a lot of food. I really eat a lot of food, believe it or not. So I've been eating Chooks-To-Go all the time. And even I joke with my friends back home in the States, like, they're like, oh, you're with Chooks-To-Go. Like, how's the food? I'm like, you guys, like, I'm not even just saying it. It really is the best. Like, I love Chooks-To-Go. I order it on my own when I'm just at home. So I've been eating a lot. This might be the most I've ever had it, but I'm enjoying it.
Do you have the luxury of choosing a part right now? A part of the chicken that you like?
They give us like their
Hey,
chicken.
it's first class. We don't have to choose a part. We get every part. We get the whole chicken. So that's been real nice.
Okay, Gab, how about you?
Yeah, it's my favorite. Never had any the states. I feel like Chooks.
Okay. Okay, Sir Vince, you have a question for the guys.
Well, for Troy, you played at Wake Forest for 4 years.
Mhm.
I want to know how was it like in the 4 years you played at Wake Forest? How was it like playing against Duke University and playing in Cameron?
Yeah, I mean that was a crazy experience. Especially, it's even more so now. Like looking back, we played against Jason Tatum, Ben Simmons, Marvin Bagley, Brandon Ingram, literally like the biggest names there are out there. I'll always be happy I had that experience. Just like even just warming up at the crowd at Cameron Indoor, they were making fun of me. They had a little sheet with things of each player
Yeah.
to make fun of them for, and I was so happy just to be there. I was like, oh, they're making fun of me. So that was even just yeah, that was a great experience. I like to think that I wasn't too starstruck, but I definitely have really fond memories of playing against those guys and like watching the NBA bubble. It's cool to be able to say like I shared the court with them at least at some point.
Okay, Sir Vince, you have more questions in your arsenal.
Well, for Gab, so your experience here is a 3-on-3. If and when the MPBL season resumes, how will your experience here be able to help you um, if and when mag-resume yung season ng MPBL?
Yeah, so like what I said a while ago, one skill that I learned in theory is having a short memory, and that will really help me in upcoming MPBL season. Just to, if something happens, just let it go and move on, because the games here are so fast. You can't um dwell in the past. So that's one thing that I learned. It will really help me in 5 and 5.
Thanks.
Okay, Brian, ikaw naman, the Godfather.
But I was gonna ask Troy and Gab, with a lot of eating a lot of chicken, aren't you afraid of growing wings? Because
I want to have wings.
Yeah, that would definitely help me dunk a little bit better. So I'll take wings if I can get them.
anyway, seriously now. So before the everything got back to everything settled, I had a chance to talk with LA Tenorio of Barangay Ginebra when they went into the bubble. So when I asked him how he felt, he described the bubble something like a prison because they would be staying there for about, well, they're staying there longer, and you guys, I think, not that long. So how would you describe the, would you say that it is like a prison? Troy first.
Um, I mean, no, definitely not. No disrespect to him.
Mhm.
I mean, like that's one of the things I said is perspective, and part of that for me has been comparing it to people who really like.
Mhm.
There's so many people who sacrifice for their family in bad ways or good ways. You mentioned prison, like this is a random one, but people like go to Alaska to fish and they're stuck up there for 3 months, like in the winter and stuff going on like that. And not even to be that guy of saying like, oh, it could always be worse, but at least that's what's been making me feel better. Just knowing like the sacrifice I'm making is for my family, is for something greater. And it is tough. Like it's 100% tough, but just for me, what I've been telling myself, like compared to what people go through and what people are going through right now, like we could have it a lot worse.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, for me, it's not like a prison because it depends how you see it, whether it's half the glass is half empty or half full. Right now, I'm just thankful and grateful for what we have. Blessings and the small things. I mean, we get free food, we get free Wi-Fi, we get free electricity, we get free whatever water,
Free chicken.
books, free chicken. I
Free
mean,
tempo.
it. I mean, we're blessed beyond like we're really blessed to be here in the bubble. So, not everyone can come here and experience what we did experience. So, we're safe. So, yeah, it's not like a prison for us.
Totoo
That's
yan,
why
Gab. Totoo yan, Gab. I'm kidding.
because Kara is here, or are you gonna say that off the record?
Oh, the guys were very good here. I was actually surprised. I was actually surprised. I was expecting chaos because when I found out that I was gonna get basically trapped inside a bubble with several guys that are well that have been home for 7 months. So I was thinking the same thing, that they would think that this was a prison, that they wouldn't enjoy it, that there'd be chaos because they'd miss each other, exchange rooms, whatnot, ganon. But wala. I haven't really had any or observed any major disruptions here kasi most of them were very compliant, and I think well, I would give credit to the organizers also. Shout out to Commissioner Eric Altamirano and Mama Risa Altamirano, Melmac and Sir Ronald Mascareñas, and Doc Butchong. They were very diligent with the protocols. As we always say in the Games and Amusements Board, we want people to focus on the protocols and to always, plan for everything. So come the time that you're in the bubble, you can just focus on the gameplay because that's what important. Prior to everything, you plan, worst case scenario, once you enter the bubble, that's the time that you just focus on the gameplay. And everyone else, if there are their own safety champions, they can just look after themselves. Like they have their own mini bubbles within their team. They take care of themselves. That's it.
All right, actually, Kara, we have a special question here coming from Homer Sison. He messaged me. He's watching the show right now, and he just
Okay,
asked me, please ask Kara, please ask Kara, what is the threshold in terms of positive tests for the bubble to burst?
Okay, for the bubble to burst. Well, actually, bubbles, as you know, are very volatile. 'Di ba? What is the definition of the bubble? It's very volatile. Once you touch it, it bursts. Here, as far as I'm aware, every 3 days they do antigen testing. So they do sample testing of antigen. Um, the thing is, this is considered as a mass gathering. Okay? You get several people from different households that converge that may or may not be infected. 'Di ba? The reason for this is that most of the athletes are healthy and they might end up being asymptomatic. And if uwian sila, of course, what we don't want is for them to be bringing home pasalubong of COVID to their loved ones. We don't
Yes,
want that. We
yeah.
want them to make a living, but yet again, we also want them to be able to protect their families. So in terms of threshold, bubbles are actually pretty straightforward. There's no need to there's no need to emphasize on that. But as much as possible, meron kasing protocols to make sure that people are safe inside the bubble. And it is dependent on three things. Well, of course, the resources of the league, the type of play, because it can be basketball, football, indoor, outdoor, and also the behavior of the participants. Sorry, may last pa pala, number 4, also the capability of the implementors, the staff of the implementors. Because
Mhm.
as I would always say, we can have the best protocols on the world on paper, but if the implementors can actually implement it, then that's also gonna be a problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Kara, for answering that question. No, may mga actually ikaw yung ini-interview dito, hindi ikaw yung interviewer eh. No? But anyway, but
Wag
anyway,
lang love life, sige, wag lang love life, go. Tsaka wag math.
Question ako kay Kara.
ayun. Si Kara na yung tinanongan eh, no?
Ano
Sir
yun?
Vince, handa mo na yung tanong mo kay Kara kung meron ka rin.
Aba.
Okay, Kara. Assuming na, are you ready just in case na, for example, there's knock on wood, magkaroon ng positive incident dyan, are there doon
Measures.
Protocols.
measures in place just in case? I'm not saying there is in case there you cannot conclude na wala, 'di ba? I mean, for example na suddenly may mangyari, may precautionary measures ba kayo in place?
Yes, there's an in-house league doctor, Dr. Rodrigo Angeloong or Dr. Butch Ong. Prior to them entering the bubble, the Chooks-To-Go 3-on-3 Pilipinas League was able to put an extraction, isolation, and treatment plan for those who would test positive. Well, in the eventuality that it does happen, because you prepare for that, you cannot expect that you're testing and then wala, negative lahat. You cannot.
Mhm.
Syempre, diba, you would want to know the real score of and the health and safety of your athletes.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask last question ko to Troy and Gab. How is Kara nagging you during when you're playing? Does it is it distracting? Does it distract you? Because parang I can imagine knowing Kara, parang mother like. Does she remind you? How is she? Is she like a mother to you guys? Troy
Ganyan
and
siya
Gab.
sa amin lahat eh. Ganyan siya sa amin lahat dito sa Sports On Air.
Yeah, so during if there are games, there's a place where we warm up, and then Ma'am Kara always tells us to there's social distancing still, and put our masks on and our face shields still, kasi yun nga, we don't want to be complacent kasi mahirap na. Safety pa rin is number one. So Ma'am Kara has really been doing a good job reminding us.
Thanks. Bigyan ng manok yan. Bigyan ng manok.
Binigyan na ako. Oy, pero yeah, with all fairness to them, like Gab, I've seen him several times. He always wears his masks naman. So
Okay, Troy. Any comments
Yeah,
about this car right here?
yeah. I mean, there's definitely like been some, I've heard about reminders and stuff like that, but as Gab said, we all know it's coming from a good place. It's coming to keep us safe and our families and those around us. And it's really not that hard, you know what I mean? Like it's just we have to wear a mask and a face shield. Like that's really all that's asked of us in here. So it's coming from a good place. She's doing her job to try to keep us safe. So if anything, like I appreciate, hearing that those reminders and stuff is being enforced.
Okay, Gab, we have a question here from Mark Sotelo of PH Sports Bureau. He manages a YouTube channel of classic PBA players, classic PBA people. Okay, he has a question here regarding your father, Joel. Okay, who is more physical, you or your dad?
I hope he's not listening. No? But if I was playing in their era, they'd be more physical. But I think I can stand it because of parang hindi pa uso weights nun eh. Parang, pero they were tough, like real tough, especially that era. But yeah, who knows? I would love to play him when he was in his prime.
In his prime, a prime Gab and a prime Joel, who will win?
Nanalo dad ko.
Talaga?
Next ko muna siya na manood.
Very, very modest. Anyway, Troy, we have a question here from Homer Sison again. Please ask Troy if there's a Tim Duncan shrine in Wake Forest.
Tim Duncan shrine. I don't think. I mean, his picture and stuff is all over the place. We have one of his Spurs jerseys and one of his Wake Forest jerseys in the hallway, which is pretty cool. But all of his stuff is along with everyone else's. So you have Chris Paul, Spud Webb, John Collins, a guy I played with. A lot of those, you see the NBA jerseys walking into the locker room every day. So I guess it's kind of like a shrine to all the alumni, which is nice to see as like a reminder every day you're going into practice.
How about Chris Paul? Wake Forest was Chris Paul? Tama?
Yeah. They have the Chris Paul, Tim Duncan, a bunch of those guys. They have all their like game used, signed NBA jerseys. Like as we walk in the locker room, all framed along the hallway, and that was like one of the coolest things to have there for sure.
All right, Sir Vince, you have a question there?
For Troy and Gab, what's next after this 3x3? Will you be playing in the next leg, next conference? What's next for the both of you?
They haven't announced it yet if there's an upcoming leg, but probably for me personally, spend more time with family, especially that Christmas is just around the corner. celebrate the lives of our loved ones,
Yeah.
especially this pandemic. So especially this bubble is draining nga, no? So it's basketball every day for 2 weeks. Yeah, just spend more time for myself and build on what I've worked on here. Kasi may puhunan na nga eh. So just make keep in shape. Um Eat more chooks, I guess.
About you,
Yeah,
Troy.
for me, yeah, I agree with what Gab said. Like the first thing that I want to do is like just spend some time with my family, eat some good food. But after that, in terms of basketball, I'm not really sure exactly. I don't think they've announced what the exact steps are for Chooks after this. But for me, like my number one priority is definitely the country. We got this OQT coming up. So in whichever way I can be involved, with that team, even if it's just helping the guys get ready. Like we have Josh and Alvin on my team, or our team, excuse me, getting ready. So just being able to help them get ready to represent the country, that's going to be my number one priority. So my mindset is just whatever I can do to further that Olympic dream. Hopefully, I want to be a part of it.
Okay. A question here from Aldrin Magnai from 3B Hoops. Okay. What is your most prized possession that you took you inside the bubble? I mean, maybe one of the most unique items that you brought inside the bubble. Gab, you have anything?
Yeah, I brought my portable sauna with me. I think that's one of my my prized possessions that he helps me with my recovery.
Okay, Troy.
Yeah, for me, it would probably be my noise canceling headphones. I got like a nice pair of those for Christmas. And for me, like sometimes it's hectic in here. So for me to kind of just like get away and get into my own little world, that's definitely been nice to have those.
So he doesn't hear me when I tell him to wear his shield and mask. No.
No, I was gonna ask if your roommate snores a lot. That's why you have. I mean that's a lifesaver.
No, honestly, like I should let him borrow it because I'm the snorer. If anyone, I feel bad for whoever has to room with me.
Okay, who's your roommate by the way?
Uh, Josh Manzone. So
Uh,
that's been nice too. Yeah. Build a little chemistry. Get to spend some nice quality time together. I know he's over there
Yeah,
laughing.
whenever I see Josh, puyat siya. Now I know.
okay,
Now I know
Yeah.
why he always looks like he lacks sleep.
and that's
Yeah, it's my fault. Honestly, blame it on me. It probably is my fault.
a good thing that Josh is not in the interview. Is there anything that you learned about Josh in this 11 days?
Is
And
there
yet he
anything I
doesn't
learned
have a
about?
chance to come back at you right
No,
now because he's
Josh
not
is
in the
beside
interview.
him. May bantay.
Is there anything
Is
that
there?
you realize about Josh after knowing him for a few years that you
Yeah.
that you just realized inside the bubble?
Is there anything I learned about Josh? Two, two things. The first thing is like he's actually like, well, I mean, I don't know. He's really organized. Like he came so prepared. Like I was not ready with toiletries and all this stuff. His side of the room is super organized. He makes his bed every day, and he does all that stuff. So I'm not gonna say I was surprised to see that, but I just didn't know. That's something like I wish I could do. And then also the second thing is like I knew family was really important to him, but he's like such a family guy. He always makes sure his parents, his family back home. I really admire that. That's really nice to see, and it encourages me. Like I call my parents too, but I think it's rubbed off on me in a good way to even call my family more and make sure to connect with them.
Okay, Gab, who's your roommate, by the way?
My roommate's Juan Gomez de Leaño.
Okay, the young fella.
Yeah,
Any
yeah, 20 years old.
realizations about this guy that you just realized inside the bubble?
I realized I'm old. Because he's 20-year-old and his the way he talks, his lines. I'm like, I can't relate. I don't understand what you're saying. So I realized I'm old.
He's in there. He's in there on TikTok all day, huh?
Yeah, yes. Playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Okay, Minecraft is not. I don't play Minecraft as well, but anyway, um, uh, uh, Okay, Gab, there's a question here about your dad as well. Um, this is from Homer Sison from Spin. Um, okay, he is asking if you have felt being a prisoner of your father's expectations.
One thing that he really doesn't miss telling me is that just to play basketball, you're playing basketball to have fun. So when he says that, the pressure already relieves. And he doesn't really tell me anything, but to just remember to always have fun. So that's it.
Okay, any more questions, guys? Brian, Vince, you have more questions right here. Vince,
For Kara.
si Kara naman.
Hindi, pero sa akin medyo seryoso. So, kunwari, God forbid, kunwari may magka-infection, let's say 1 or 2 players, um, mapuput on hold ba yung tournament? Ma-suspend? Ano
Uh,
mangyayari?
Well, the protocols that were formulated by the league together with the games and amusement sport in compliance with the JA will be followed. So there will be appropriate once it is identified, there will be appropriate contact tracing and isolation measures. So depending on the result of the contact tracing, then maybe that's when they can actually decide, because let's just say if they followed all the protocols and there weren't any intermingling of teams, of course it's easier, you just isolate one team or two teams. If it's more than that, I'm saying this in general, not just with Chooks. If it's two teams or more, then maybe it depends if the league can still function. But
Mhm.
here, as far as the Chooks protocols are concerned, as far as I'm aware, there is a separate isolation facility inside here in Inspiraya. So should one test positive, they will be isolated there. The person will not actually get out of the Inspiraya compound, but rather be transferred to a different building so the person can be fed and monitored. And the good thing about here is that they have a lead doctor inside. So no matter what happens, there is a doctor to actually attend to them.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
Ryan,
Yeah, I have one question each for Troy and one for Gab. For Troy first. Troy, you passed up the 2019 PBA draft. So for now, are you still sticking by that, or do you have any plans moving ahead?
Oh, in terms of entering in 2020.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure what the future holds. I definitely got to like get with my family, spend some time with them. That's the first priority, and then make a decision from there. But my number one priority, even with what happened in 2019, it's nothing against the PBA or anything like that. But my number one priority since I've been out here is representing the country, representing the flag. So I felt like I had an opportunity to do that and maybe to help out at the very least with 3x3 and the Olympic push. So that's still going to be my number one priority. We'll see where that leads me. But yeah, I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm definitely, I'm not opposed or have anything like against it.
Okay, so you're just considering it's an option for you.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think to pretend like the PBA isn't, one of the biggest things here would be just not true.
All right. For Gab, I just wanted to clarify. Gab, did you play in Save for Savior, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
sir.
so you are the Gab Banal that I remember because most of your I know I coach Baste, Tangcuenco, then
Yes, yes, yes.
okay, so now I know. So I just verified that. Because
Yeah.
Gab is a monster when he plays in the Alumni League of Savior. I know your numbers.
I think
I have
I'm
a
like five,
question.
five
Yeah, I have a question. I know that mostly with 3-on-3, you play it at malls, so there's a big crowd, there are people who cheer for you guys. What is the effect of playing it inside the bubble without the fans? Is there a specific effect on your game? Kasi syempre, di ba, if the fans cheer you, minsan mas ginaganahan kayo. How was it for you guys to play without the fans?
definitely is a challenge, especially like for MPBL, the crowd of Nueva Ecija is crazy, and not having them to cheer on us is it's like it's our fourth man inside the 3x3 court. But I guess we just have to be more focused. But it really, the crowd really plays a part. Good thing Chooks has the virtual fans, just to kind of crowd the arena. They pretty much did good.
Is it helping that you have like the hype men inside?
Yeah, yeah. So Sue and Mike Swift has really, get us pumped up.
Yeah, just have Mike Swift. He's like a one-man army right there, man.
How about for
Yeah, I was just gonna chime in with that real quick. I think it's good that we have the hype man, and then we have a little crowd noise, because I know there's a lot of trash talking and a little bit of stuff going on. So it's nice that it's not a completely empty, quiet gym. But in terms of missing the fans, like, I think one of the great things about 3x3 is, like you said, it can be played in malls. So I think like the fan interaction is actually more, because like as soon as you get off the court, like they're right there. There's no separate tunnel or anything. So if I'm warming up for the game, I'm stretching, we're sitting on the side recovering, like the fans are just right there. So I definitely miss like that interaction, and also how close they are to you. It just makes it loud. But still, like Gab said, having the virtual fans and still having like a nice environment, like the environment, I will say, Chooks set up here, it looks really good. It's world class, and just how everything feels and looks is really great. So miss interacting with the fans and getting to meet them, but this is pretty good considering the circumstances.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, a question here for Kara. Si Kara ang tinatanong. Okay, Kara, the NBA spent 150 million US dollars for their bubble. How much logistics does it require for a 3-on-3 bubble from a home and section?
I am not the right person to ask that. I think that is better addressed to Coach Eric or Com Eric Altamirano, because they're the ones. I'm from the Games and Amusements Board. I'm not from Chooks-To-Go.
Okay, Brian, may tanong dito si Mark Sotelo. Ikaw ba magtatanong o ano?
Wala, pinapatanong lang yata sa akin. Akala ko tanong sa akin eh.
Hindi nang basa ko eh. Parang tanong para sa'yo eh.
Oo.
Okay. Ikaw na magtanong. Ikaw inutusan eh.
Ikaw na.
Sus naman. But anyway, sige anyway. For Troy and Gab, if everyone's wearing a face mask and you can't identify who is who, which basketball move or mannerism would you guys do on the court to make people identify you? That's kind of deep, right? But anyway, Gab, you're already smiling. Well, what do you have in mind?
So, sorry, I didn't quite get the question.
Everyone has masks inside the basketball court, and no one can identify each other. Okay, so what?
How will they know if it's me?
How will people know that it's you? Just with a basketball move or a mannerism, or maybe a ritual.
I probably let my hair down. I don't know. Yeah, because not a lot of players here have long hair, so you minimize the choices.
I was just gonna say I always recognize Gab because he's usually with Juan, and Juan is walking around with his bucket hat and his shoes and backpack and everything. Juan has the most fashionable outfits here, so I definitely I recognize him when he was with Gab.
Yeah.
Okay, Troy, how about you?
I think the height gives it away. I don't know if I have any particular move or signature thing I could do. I think just from the height, even with the face shield.
Plus Troy's only the white boy.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's really
There's not too many other tall white guys just walking around here.
Yeah, I went down the stairs. I think I was ahead of you a bit. I was just up until his armpits, and I'm a tall girl. I'm a tall girl.
Yeah.
So,
but actually, for the first time, I'm actually not used to it. I'm actually not the tallest player here. That one goes to James Lappa, so I can just kind of fade into the background a little bit.
Okay. Anyway. Any more questions? Sir Vince, you have any more questions out there?
I'm good.
Brian, meron ka pa?
Good.
Okay, but anyway, Kara, baka ikaw may baka gusto ko pang iba to bago may magtanong pa dito sa isa sa audience natin.
Sige, mag-iisip pa ako. Audience questions muna.
Hindi, ito na nga eh. May mga nag-reconnect dito sa tito mo ba daw si ganito? Ano ba to? Parang,
Kara?
hindi,
Sabi?
nga eh. Pero anyway, guys, this is the thing. No? For those who really play basketball, 3-on-3 is a very, very fast-paced basketball game. I mean, you're suddenly switching from from guarding the center to the guard to the forward in seconds. I mean, and you're always moving, and with that, physicality is at its highest. Okay, what can you say about the physicality of a 3-on-3 basketball game compared to a 5-on-5?
I think, it's way different. I mentioned conditioning. It definitely helps with 5-on-5, but I think it's a whole different type of conditioning. The thing that's been toughest for me is when I was at home, like I did a lot of running, a lot of conditioning work, which a lot of guys I'm sure did too, but there's not really a way to prepare your body for the bumps and the bruises you get in 3x3. So I know that's been a problem for me and for everyone, just getting used to your body recovering physically, not so much the conditioning aspect of it. Because in 3x3, like you mentioned, it's so much more physical. So you kind of have to condition and get your body used to it in a whole different way.
Okay, Gab, you want to answer that as well?
Yeah, the physicality of 3x3 is really different, and especially me and Chuck played international. They're really focused on just playing basketball, and the physicality is just part of it. I guess it's just, the difference is that from 5-on-5 and 3x3 is you're lacking two more players inside the court. So there's more space to, bump into each other.
And anyway, Gab, you're with Juan, and Juan is a fast guy, and on 3-on-3s, does it have an advantage that some quick guys can rely on the fast break to kill teams, and once you get the ball, it's not just about speed; it's about thinking where to go, where to position yourself. What can you say about the fast guys who rely on fast breaks? I mean, it's not there. I mean, how can speed be a factor in a 3-on-3 basketball game?
I guess in all sports, team sports, speed kills. I guess you just have to pick what your advantages are and just work on it. We excel internationally because Filipinos are fast. We're not tall, but we use our advantage to our strengths. So quick guys still have an advantage in TXT. I think Troy can answer that question too, whether speed kills in TX3.
Okay, Troy.
Just going off that, I think it's all, the thing that I like about 3x3 is I think it is like a chess match in a sense. So if you're a taller team, you're going to be posting up, getting the ball, but on the other end, it's harder to guard. If your team's all tall guys, it's harder to contain fast guys on the perimeter. So there's definitely an advantage with being fast, but it's always a mix. If you're a guard, you have some advantages. If you're a big, you have some advantages. So for all of us, we try our best to be versatile, to be able to do a little bit of both. Those are traditionally, I think, the best players in 3x3, guys who can do a little bit of both things.
Okay, Troy, there's another question here. If you were ever to play in the NBA, given your skill set, which team would you fit best, and what spot would you be playing? I'm sure you played NBA 2K, My Career, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I would never make my own build in 2K because that would be boring. I'd just be sitting there shooting and passing the ball. But if I was, I believe it or not, I've never thought about that one. Which team? Which team would I play with? I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for that. I'll probably say if any team was unfortunate enough to have me on their roster, I would probably have to be with a Giannis type where I could just sit on the wing and shoot. I think that'd be our only hope, if he could cover me defensively and all I had to do there was just sit and shoot.
the easy part. I mean, just the Duncan Robinson type of position.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I was gonna say the Heat. Maybe I'd have to think about how like my actual fit would be with them, but just as a fan, I think that would be the team I would choose to be with.
Okay, let's spice things up a bit. How about the PBA? Would you looking at the PBA roster? So which team would you think that you're gonna fit?
I'll let Gab take that question first.
Back to you, Gab.
Baka too early pa.
To be honest,
Interview natin sila after. Let's interview them after and then ask.
yes, after na.
After lang.
Early, we need to still know who's going to be the champions here. And I'm guessing that if there are
Ah,
agents out there, they're going to look at who will be the champions for this specific conference.
okay, Aldrin is saying Boston Celtics for you, right?
Boston Celtics. Okay. I could believe it. Ask him to comment below why he thinks that would be a good fit. I'm curious. I'm curious to see why.
And for the PBA, you fit well for Alaska. That's what he's saying right here.
Okay.
Let them speculate on this one.
Yeah, I've heard that one before for sure. But we'll see.
I'm guessing to succeed Sonny Thos.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, I mean those are definitely very big shoes to fill. I think I've seen that comment once or twice before, but if whatever team ends up being the case, I'd be happy to be a part of.
Pa naman yung hypothesis ko, akala ko kasi kamukha niya yung bata dun sa lata ng Alaska. Kaya mas bagay sa kanya.
Para pang mother.
Okay, Boy, I don't know if you understood what Kara said, but you look like the kid.
The
in
kid
front
on the
of that,
Alaska
bottle. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
Alaska
I'll
milk
have to
can.
look. I'll have to look. Is there something I can Google so I can see?
yeah, just Google Alaska can.
Alaska can.
Alaska milk can.
Yeah.
Alaska milk ka. Di ba, Gab, kamukha naman?
Okay, I'm not that white.
Yes.
Come on now, guys. I'm not that white. This kid is like.
He's blonde.
This kid looks like a ghost.
Yeah.
He's got blonde hair.
That's
That's funny.
assessment from Kara.
Okay,
Yeah,
Troy, Alvin already answered. Three
yeah.
position guard, Boston guard, wing big, able to play multiple position.
Oh, that's a very
How
nice
do you like
comment. I
that role?
appreciate that.
How do you?
That's
But you have Jason Tatum to rotate with you. I mean, if you're gonna be like the
yeah.
three, I mean, you're gonna like come off the bench and fill in Jason Tatum's like if he's
Yeah, I think he's saying like maybe like the versatility, how they kind of play like positionless basketball a little bit. Like they have a bunch of forwards and stuff. They have Tatum, Brown, Hayward, a couple other guys. So I'm taking it as a compliment that he thinks I can like switch with them. So thank you for that.
Okay, I don't know if you guys played 2K my career. What type of player do you mold yourself there? I mean, of course, all of us played that. For those who are into 2K, are you a center? Are you a guard? Are you a point guard? Or what height or what build? Troy, did you play that 2K my career?
Yeah, I do a bunch of different builds. We actually when I was at home, I was playing with Josh, so we were able to get our kind of 3x3 chemistry going in the 2K playing the 2K thing. For me, I usually try to either do. I like to be the point guard. I like to have the ball in my hands, like most people. I usually do like a mix of shooting and dunking, like evenly, or I do a tall point forward. Like I like to make like a Ben Simmons type build. Is something I enjoy.
Okay, Gab, how about you?
Just trying to simulate to how I play. So definitely a point forward.
How do you adjust the height? I mean, what's your height in 2K my career?
Like 6'8", LeBron James kind of.
There you go.
Yeah, for me, it's the opposite. Like I always joke with my friends, I'm almost always the shortest player on the court when we play 2K. My guy's build is like 6'2", so he can be really quick. So it's definitely a little different than real life.
Okay. Anyway, Aldrin also added that you're a non-traditional play for Boston game adapt player. Okay, I don't know what that means. So,
Non-traditional. Hey, like I said, I'm honored. I'll take the compliment. I think like the versatility and stuff. I appreciate that comment. So thank you for writing those kind words.
but anyway, guys, actually, the hour already is up. But anyway, Vince, Brian, Kara, and any roundup questions for these guys before we let them go?
I have one for Troy and Gab. Well, LeBron just won his fourth ring, and then now you have another debate on who's the GOAT. So who's your GOAT, LeBron or MJ?
LeBron or MJ? I'll just say Tim Duncan. I'll stay out of it. I'll have my bias.
Gab,
I'll
I mean,
say I'll
I'm
stay
sure you
out
have
of it. I'll stay out of it also. I'm going for KD, Kevin Durant.
okay.
Good. Safe
Okay,
answers.
Troy, Homer is saying here that you're a good fit for the Lakers. You'll be like the KCP prototype, shoot, 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 and you should get in touch with Homer because he has a speed dial for the Lakers.
Wow.
Hey man, yeah, you were asking me for my next career path. Who knows? There it is. The Homer might hook it up.
So do you like? The Lakers are rumored to be looking for more firepower in the off season. I mean that there's a
Yeah, I mean, I know they're a little stretched for cap space right now since they're paying LeBron and Anthony Davis so much. So here, I'll play for free. That's my advertisement right here. That's what I have to offer. I won't cost very much.
just feed me food. That's it.
All I require is my contract has to be the same as it is here. Chooks-To-Go chickens. I need that after every practice, and then I'll be able to make it happen.
They have to import it from the Philippines.
Yep. I like to think I'm not very high maintenance, but when it comes to my Chooks-To-Go, that's the one thing I won't settle for less. They got to find a way to get that to LA.
Okay, guys. Anyway, final words. I mean, Brian, you have some final words right now?
Final words, goodbye ako.
Oh, ano ka ba? Meron ka bang mga gustong batiin or
I
what?
have the last question.
Si Kara may question pa, Pabol.
Okay. Your team aside, who do you think will win this conference? Let's start with Troy.
My team aside, who will win this conference? I think Nueva, Gab's team, Nueva, and Butuan City, I think they're like the highest at the leaderboard with us. So that's definitely right now like two teams that stand out to me, but all the teams are really, really talented. I've been surprised at how good everyone has been. So it's going to be tough no matter who we play, but I think those are the two teams that I'm most familiar with, just knowing the guys on the team.
Okay. How about you, Gab?
Definitely Troy's team because they're the national team. Right? So they have the top two players in the Philippines. So and we're preparing them for OQT. So they should win.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, but anyway, guys, this is it. I mean, thank you for spending an hour with us. Troy, regards to Josh. I don't know if who is the more dirt. What do you call this? In Tagalog, we call it burara. How do you call that in English, Brian?
Me? Who's messy? The one who's messy or
Who's
disorganized?
the messy guy in the room? Is it you or Gab or Josh? I mean, I don't know, but but from what I'm hearing, Josh is the OC guy.
Yeah, it's definitely me. I'm the messy one. And actually, if you don't mind, I have something to share here real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I can't share it on my screen, so I'll have to just do it on here. But someone just sent this to me, and I think you might find it funny. For Kara, I'll make sure to send that to you so you have that.
It's
How fast can Photoshop be? I mean,
people have a lot of time on their hands during this lockdown, so they've been working on their skills.
Nag-trending kagad.
yeah. But anyway, Troy, you want to greet some people right now? You want to promote something? You have an album or what? The floor is yours.
Um, I would like to promote Chooks-To-Go as always. Masarap ka walang sauce for sure. I would like to give a shout to my girlfriend Vivian. I know she's watching, so shout out to Vivian and Mamba. And then also all the people who said all the kind words about me. I'll let you know how the Celtics and Lakers tryout go. But in all seriousness, everyone who's watching, everyone who's supported, everyone who's tuning in to 3x3, I really appreciate it. Thanks for letting us like continue to follow our dream and play basketball.
Okay, the comment right here is league minimum is $880 a year plus Chooks chicken. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, hey, that 880 sounds a little high. Like I said, zero and Chooks chicken is good for me. That'll work.
Okay, Gab, anything that you want to greet? You have a rap album coming up or what? And who's the guy
Like-
beside you? I mean,
I'd like
I
to
see
say-
hair. I see some curly hair beside you right now.
I'd like to say hi to my little alaga, Juan Gomez de Leaño. To our team manager, Jai Reyes, and MB7, Mike Baldos. My girlfriend Lauren who's watching, my family, and sa lahat ng mga taga Nueva Ecija at Palayan City. Kay Mayor Ryan and Boss Bong. Hello.
All right, thank you very much, guys. And of course, I'll give some the floor to my co-hosts, Sir Vince. Anyone you want to greet, and anything that you want to promote as well.
Well, my column on This Is Mir comes out every Tuesday. And I want to say hi to my wife, Mela, and my little girl, Isabel.
All right, Miss Godfather Brian Yalong.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Gab. Thank you, Sir Vince. It's a pleasure to meet you here.
Likewise.
To Ma'am Josa Caramalyonga, well, you never fail to amaze me with the interviews. To the viewers, we hope you had a good time. We talked to Troy and Gab, and hope to see you soon.
And finally,
Yun na.
we are reserving the last part for our lady in the room, Miss Cara.
Well, thank you very much to Troy and Gab for allowing us to interview them. I'd like to thank the entire Chooks-To-Go Pilipinas staff from Coach Eric Altamirano, Mama Risa, Anayna, Sir Ronald Mascarinas, Melmac, and everyone else. And I would also like to thank all the participants here, each and every one of the teams. I'd like to greet my three wonderful kids, Bryce, Winter, Isaiah. The teams here have been very good with compliance, so I am confident to be going home without COVID. Fingers crossed. And I'd like to greet my mom, Kagawad Banji, Shakong ko. Malapit na ako umuwi. And most importantly, I would like to greet my hardworking boss from the Games and Amusements Board. Boss Baham, we're safe here. Thank you very much. Salamat din sa mga co-host ko, Sir Vince, Brian, and most importantly, si Papa E, the basketball guru of the Philippines. So,
Yan. Anyway, ako na magpro-promote para sa iyo, Cara, no? Bukas may show si Cara dito sa Sports on Air. They will be interviewing. Sino interview nyo?
yes, si Janriel Cuadro Alas Casimiro. So we have our last episode for this season. Nako, manood po kayo. Malalaman nyo kung ano yung mga secrets ni Cuadro Alas tomorrow, 8 p.m. Tuesday.
At yan po. So bukas magkikita-kita po tayo at kasama natin si Cara at ang kanyang miga na si Rika Aquino for a very, very special interview with, sino nga ulit? Si
Janriel Cuadro Alas Casimiro.
Bonus
Ayan.
last
Pero,
point.
yan. Oo.
34, ano po yan? 3440. Ay, may nagpapa-shoutout po. Si
okay.
Jeff Saplala from Australia. Yan, ang aking brother. Ayan.
Grabe, Kara. May mga fans ko na dito, sinasabi dito sa akin, you're a more beautiful and definitely more refined Casey Concepcion. Tax. Ganun ba?
Ay, thank you.
Ay, grabe.
Paparapon tayo ng chooks.
Iba, ano, bigyan ng manok. Bigyan ng manok yan.
Ronald. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Gab.
But anyway, with this, I would like to invite everyone who are on the Facebook right now. If you just or if you're just new to this page, please like our page right now. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. And we are trying to reach 50,000 before the end of November. We're at 45,000 already. But with that, my name is Ernest Hernandez, and I leave you with this very special message for these times. Just stay safe and God bless.